Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in to what is going to be another one of those videos where I crush up all of the shades in a given shadow palette, mix them all together and see what shade they create. This has kind of been a polarizing topic here on the channel. Some of you love it, some of you don't like it or actually hate it. If you fall into that category, guys, there are so many other videos on this channel. I highly recommend you check them out. If you like these kinds of videos, in addition to watching this one, there's like a steadily growing playlist of a few more that I've created as well that you can check out if you click the eye up here. But either way, the premise of these videos is just to have fun with some palettes that I have that I would never really otherwise be able to use up completely, and so I'm just like having some fun with them. They are not rendered completely useless. In today's video, as mentioned in the last one of these videos that I did, I am going to be tackling the Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne Kaleidoscope Dream palette, but just like all of the other palettes that I've done, it's still completely, like, the shadows are pretty much entirely intact. So even though it looks like I'm doing a number to these shadows, they're still totally usable individually if and when I want to, which is a good thing because I have a whole review of this collection up. It's on sale pretty much everywhere, I think. So if you're interested in this palette, now would be the time to buy it. And I have a review of this, the other palette in this collection, the highlight palette, and the lipsticks. Basically the whole collection I have a video review of if you want to go check it out. And this was easily my favorite product in the whole collection because the shadows are so stinking pigmented. And because there is such a wide color variety in this palette, I was just really interested in how they would look all mixed together. So that's exactly what this video is going to be. Per the title, per the explanation at the beginning of everything, let's go ahead and get started. So as usual, I've already crushed this up. I have a good idea of what the color looks like swatched. And I really had no idea how this would turn out, like I said, because there are all these crazy colors in here, plus you get the two duochrome shades. And I just find or have found in the palettes that I've done before, namely the Comfort Zone palette, those duochrome shades can make the final product so interesting and very multifaceted, and in some cases make it like a one and done shadow because of the way it lays and reflects light across the eye. It becomes so multidimensional that that's really all you need, and it's a great one and done shadow look. So I was not only interested for that, but also there is a black shadow in here, and so I was kind of fearful that that might overwhelm the entire eyeshadow. When all was said and done though, it created this really interesting kind of blackened greeny grayish color that when you get really up close, you can see some of those finer shades like the royal purple in here or the shift from Spitfire or the blues. It just becomes a really, really complex shadow shade that at face value, when you first see it from afar, I think it's gonna look like a steely gray, but when you get up close, it's gonna be this gorgeous multifaceted shadow. I can't stand it any longer. Let's go ahead and apply it. All right, so here is the crushed up eyeshadow here. So far, fingers crossed, we are 2 for 2 in videos where I have not spilled this all over myself. So as usual, I'm going to start by applying this dry to my lid, taking this brush from Real Techniques. This is the base shadow brush, and just for reference, when I'm doing like one and done shadow looks, I like this because of the tapered tip. It makes it easy to get a nice precise application here in the inner corner, which when you're using something that might be deep but still kind of what am I saying? Deep but complex. Like at some angles it can look really dark and others really light. I like to use something really precise because I find that if I get too messy here on the inner corner, it can get a little bruisey looking with a shade like that. And so I just want to be super precise with how I apply it in the inner corner, and this brush gives me that kind of control, but also still the surface area and the fluffiness to really buff and pack on color as I might want to. Oh, this is majorly falling out. Eek. It reminds me a lot of the Wet n Wild, the shadow that I got from Wet n Wild Comfort Zone, but without the red-brown shift. It's blending out really beautifully though, which is to be expected because all of the shadows in the actual Kaleidoscope Dream palette did the same thing. But yeah, got some fallout there. For all the precision this gave me, what good did that do? Okay, I can't wait to see this foiled. It's beautiful now, but I think the complexity of the shadow is really going to come out. I love how just as it is, it's kind of this light gray base with this interesting purple or bluey teal shift. But I think that iridescence is really going to stand out once we foil it. So I'm just going to continue smoking it out here. A little bit of this goes a long way. I really did not pack a lot on my brush, before going in here. So a little bit of this is going a long way. Again, to be expected given how these shadows perform individually. I was so blown away by how the brights in this palette perform, which is another reason why if you were interested in this palette, now's the time to get it because it's on sale for like 19 bucks, I want to say. I think it's such a good deal. So there it is, applied dry to both eyes. I'm just going to take a clean blending brush to get at those edges because I find that it is just so pigmented that I need something clean to help buff and blend that out, because going in with the brush that I have been using is just moving things around. It's not really shearing things out here around the edge like I want. All right, so there it is dry. I am going to fix my inner corner here now. And we're back. Kind of fixed. I still feel like there's a blue hue around here because, of course, when I went to go clean it up, it really just spread everything everywhere. So we'll move through it. So now I'm going to apply this foiled or wet using MAC Fix Plus. I'm just going to spritz a little bit of this onto this guy here so I can mix the two together. All right, and this I'm just going to press into the center of my lid. And that looks more purple almost. That's gorgeous because from some angles it looks blue and others it's purple. That's gorgeous. So with that solidly in my crease, I'm going to take that same fluffy brush and just go and soften that a little bit. But wow, I cannot believe how much those colors came out when I foiled it. I feel like I say that every time though, right? That is the point of foiling, is to bring out the colors. Yeah, that is super gorgeous. Holy smokes. Literally, smokes! Oh my god, that is so, so pretty. I think this is my favorite so far. This is my favorite mixture so far. Oh, that's gorgeous. All right, let's go ahead and put mascara on. All right, so there's mascara applied, and then as usual with these videos, I've gone into my collection to see if there are any other similar shadows I could find to this one. And unlike the previous videos, there is nothing close to this. This is just so smoky grayish, but yet has that strong bluey purple shift. There's just nothing quite like it. The one shadow that came remotely close is actually more metallic. It is equally beautiful, and it has a strong blue-purple shift, but it's just more iridescent, less smoky. I think you could apply this over a smoky base and get a similar effect, but it's gonna have still a much stronger shift. That is the shadow. It's also a lot more expensive. That is the shadow from the Pat McGrath Mothership. I guess it is just the Mothership palette, but it's this one with this gorgeous shade right here. I will swatch the two together so you can get an idea for it, but there's just such a strong shift from that you aren't going to get from this. This is really more of a subtle oil slick look almost, just so subtle and beautiful, which for those of you who might be a little more timid about wearing duochromes, this is just going to be a much more subtle looking shadow, more like an oil slick and less like an in-your-face iridescent blinding highlight, which is what I would say the Pat McGrath is. Still beautiful, just very different. So that is it for this episode of Destroy Your Palette. As usual, I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear what palette you want to see this done with next. And always. So that is it for this episode of Destroy Your Palette, if that's what we're calling it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below, and of course, I would love to hear what palette you want to see in this segment, or we're calling it in a video like this coming up soon. Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!